welcome to another Geek This Week presentation, and this is another installment of the Universal Monster Blu-Ray reviews. Hopefully you've checked out the other three that we've put up, but now we're moving on to our fourth installment, and in this one we are going to be looking at the Mummy Legacy Collection. This includes all the Mummy movies, including the 1932 The Mummy, starring Boris Karloff and Zaya Johansson. Also has the four sequels: The Mummy's Hand, The Mummy's Tomb, The Mummy's Ghost, and The Mummy's Curse. And of course, Abbott and Costello meets The Mummy. Okay, just a little tidbits. The Mummy was done in 1932. It was the second big picture for Boris Karloff. In between that and Frankenstein, he had made The Old Dark House with James Wells before doing Bride of Frankenstein. So in this movie, Karloff was made up as the Mummy wrapped up, which you only see it for very few scenes in the movie. But in interviews, especially his daughter Sarah Karloff has said in interviews that it took longer to put on the mummy makeup, the full mummy makeup, than it did the Frankenstein makeup, and it was very painful to take this makeup off. Of course, the mummy makeup was done by Jack Pierce, the creator of some of the great classic Universal monsters, such as Frankenstein, the Mummy, and the Wolfman. So a lot of people think that Jack Pierce created the makeup for Dracula, and that is not correct. Jack Pierce he desperately wanted to do the makeup on that, but Bela Lugosi insisted on doing his own makeup. And if they had originally cast who they wanted to play Dracula, Lon Chaney Sr., Chaney Sr. would have done his own makeup anyway. So, but anyway, The Mummy was directed by Carl Freund. He was the cinematographer for Dracula, and he went on to do camera work in I Love Lucy in the 1950s. This is a very good picture, but there is a thing, and film historians has pointed this out, that if you watch this movie and you watch it simultaneously with Dracula, you will see so many similarities in scenes. And the theory on that is that the screenwriter for The Mummy also did the screenplay for Dracula, John Balterstein, and that he may have subconsciously, or maybe he did, just rehash things from Dracula. But Boris Karloff gives a great performance, just using not even using his voice, just keeping his voice low and just slow movements. Gives off a great performance as Imhotep. It's a very well done movie. Once again, it also stars Edward Van Sloan. You probably remember him. He was in Frankenstein and Dracula as Van Helsing. So this originally was going to have a lot of reincarnation scenes with Zia Johansson's character, but due to the runtime, and it was felt that it was just going to drag the movie plot line down, that they eliminated it and just showed the original scene of Karloff when he as Imhotep breaking the law of the gods and then being punished for it. So anyway, we would not get another Mummy movie until 1940, and that would be with The Mummy's Hand. And Karloff never reprised his role as the Mummy. He only did the Mummy in 1932, and that was the only Mummy movie he did. In The Mummy's Hand, the Mummy, now called Caris, not even Imhotep, the plot line was similar. Oxamun was the Mummy's name, his princess name who died, and he tried to resurrect her by using an elixir made from tana leaves. So in The Mummy's Hand, the Mummy is played by Tom Tyler. Tom Tyler is be known to film fans as Captain Marvel. He played Captain Marvel in The Adventures of Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, now known to comic book fans as Shazam. And he also starred as another famous comic book character in another 40s serial, The Phantom. So, but this was Tom Taylor's only horror film that he did. Tom Taylor mostly had done westerns up to that point. I like The Mummy's Hand. I think The Mummy's Hand is a really good plot. It's really the sequels are not a sequel to the 1932 Mummy movie. The Mummy Hand starts the series off, and it ends with the Mummy's Curse. So, with the Mummy's Tomb, the action takes place in New England, and the main character and two of the main characters from the original from the Mummy's Hand, Stephen Bannon and Babe Hansen, appear in the Mummy's Tomb, and it takes place well after they estimate 20 years, but you have to they fudge the numbers on the dates in these movies, so you have to just take it with a grain of salt, but nevertheless. And then the protagonist hero in the Mummy's Tomb is Steve Bannon's son, John Bannon. And so we see the Carice come to America to reclaim his bride, his princess. So just another little tidbit of information. Hammer Productions made The Mummy in 1959, starring Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. The plot for that movie takes most of its elements from The Mummy's Hand and The Mummy's Tomb. So, just a tidbit of information there. So, the Carice in this movie and in the latter two movies, The Mummy's Ghost and The Mummy's Curse, are played by Lon Chaney, as he's credited, or Lon Chaney Jr. Now, this allowed Chaney to have the extension of playing all four of the great classic Universal monsters: Frankenstein monster, Dracula, which he played in Son of Dracula. He played the Frankenstein monster in Ghost of Frankenstein. Of course, his well-known and his best role that he will always be remembered for is that of Larry Tabbitt, the Wolfman. And here he plays Carice, the Mummy. This is the least of his favorite roles. He's always said he hated the Mummy movies. Doesn't explain why he came back to do the other two if he hated them so much. And it was known that he hated the makeup so much that he insisted, and it was forced upon Jack Pierce to use a mask instead of making up the face for the Carice Mummy. So if you look at the latter three films and you look at the first two films, you see a big difference in the makeup, and that's because Pierce had to use a rubber mask due to the fact that Chaney refused to sit for that makeup. So, but as I said, the next in the series is The Mummy's Ghost, and once again Lon Chaney returns. And it also stars John Carradine. So, and this film is the only one of the films that sees Carice reunited with his dead princess at the end of the film. Also, in this film, Robert Lowley, and I hope I pronounced his last name correctly, stars as the film's protagonist in The Mummy's Ghost. He would later go on to play Batman in Batman and Robin, a 15-chapter serial for Columbia Pictures. So if you always thought that Adam West was the first man to play Batman on live-action TV, that is not correct. There was two 40 serials. So, and in the final film, The Mummy's Ghost, and this is the one that's the weakest of them all, and that's because of the fact that the plot and the scenery for the movie is moved from New England to Louisiana's swampland, and there's no explanation of why this has happened and where why is it now in Louisiana, and of course they fudged the timeline again. Some historians watching the films and trying to calculate actually say it's really 1995, and of course you can tell it's not 1995. Look at all the equipment and everything, so a lot of fudging numbers there. But like I said, you got to take it with a grain of salt. So this, it's just, it's just the weaker of the movies, but still, it's enjoyable. And then of course they had to do an Abbott and Costello meets the Mummy, and it's comedy, so the makeup isn't what it is. It's just, you can tell it's not an actual mummy. It's a guy in a mummy's costume, but nevertheless, it's funny and you can laugh at it. It's really not going to scare you. So anyway, you get all the movies on here, and I'll go over the special features here in just a minute, but you can see here at the front, this is a nice little cover. This is Boris Karloff in the full mummy makeup. You know, full mummy makeup. I think he wears that makeup for maybe 5 minutes at the top in this movie. That's just how long he wears that particular makeup. So anyway, you can see here there's a still shot for each of the movies that is in the set, all 6 movies. And you know, of course, it gives a description. It lists the movies and the years that the movies came out with. So I'm going to read off the special features here real quick. Mummy Dearest, a horror tradition unearthed documentary. This is that's a documentary about all 6 of the Mummy movies, but it extensively focuses on the Mummy, the 1932. He Who Made Monsters. This is a documentary on the life and art of Jack Pierce, who created all the great makeups for the Universal Monster movies. And it also talks about unraveling the legacy of the Mummy. Now, when this came out, this was when this particular documentary came out, it was released around the time that The Mummy Returns was being released. You know, in 1999, they released The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser, and it did phenomenally well. It really is a great movie. It's a great movie. So, and then you get the Mummy Archives, which is showing like still shots of posters, lobby cards, and still shot scenes from the film. There's 2 feature commentaries on here, and of course the theatrical trailers for all the movies. So, okay. So let's take this out. You can take a look. You can see, same as the front of the case cover, and you can see the back is the same too. As you can open up, you see, you know, this is the movie. You know, just the kind of information you would see at the bottom of a movie poster. There's the disc for the Mummy. You can see the nice little silhouette there of Boris Karloff as the Mummy. And then you can see the Mummy's Hand, the Mummy's Tomb is on a disc. Mummy's Ghost, the Mummy's Curse is on a disc, and then Abbott and Costello Meets the Mummy is on its own, and of course you can see the other movies there. So, okay, now this collection is available on Blu-ray. Of course it's on Blu-ray, but it's also available on DVD. But why would you want to buy DVD when you get Blu-ray and get, you know, in high definition? So, all right, now I own this movie in other formats. So one of the formats that I own it on is, of course, this nice little box set of the 6 Universal Monster movies. You can see there you've got Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Invisible Man, The Bride, and of course the Mummy. And then you can see on the back here all the movie posters for each of those movies. I've opened this up in previous reviews, so if you want to see it, that was done in the Invisible Man Legacy Collection review. So let's look at, it was released in several different formats on DVD, and this is the first edition that came out on DVD, and this is the movie poster. This is the actual 1932 movie poster for that movie. And then you can see on the back here, there's a nice little shot of Boris Karloff in the coffin, or in the sarcophagus. There is a description of the movie, list of all the features and such that's on here. Just so you know, this has all the features that I described to you that were on the Blu-ray. With the let me basically tell you, it has production notes, cast and film bios, film highlights. It has the theatrical trailer for this movie alone. It has the Mummy Dearest documentary. It has the Mummy Archives, and it has feature commentary and on here too for this movie. So, and of course, if you open it up like you've seen in Dracula, sorry, let me move this out of the way. As you can see in Dracula, it comes with the little slip here. That's the movie poster, and the disc, and all the discs for the first release of the Universal Monsters movies are like that. And then if you pull this out, you can see, oh, you see there it has this nice, see that? That looks nice. And then on the back here is a nice little shot of Boris Karloff. And that's him sitting in his chair reading the script. So, okay. So let's look at the next one we're going to look at. And this, I believe, is out of print. And you're not going to be able to get this. Now, this one you can get. If you want just the movie, you can get this. Or you can buy the movie by itself on Blu-ray, either way. But I only own it on DVD singly. So now, this is the Mummy special edition that came out for Universal's anniversary. This is a 2-disc set. You can see this nice little brownish cover here. It looks really, really crisp and cool. And then back here it gives you a list of what's all on the disc. And then there's another nice little silhouette of Boris Karloff as impotent. And let's open this up so you can see the disc there, and it's got the, see, it's the 2-disc set there. So now on this set, what you get is you get all the documentaries you got on the original Mummy, the Mummy DVD, but you also get on here He Who Made Monsters: The Life and Art of Jack Pierce, Unearthing the Legacy of the Mummy, and Horror Universe. That's a documentary of the Universal's time. Kenneth Bragan directed and narrated it, and it looks like the history of horror from the 1920s up to the late 40s. So, and as the sequels, so The Mummy's Hand and The Mummy's Tomb were released together on a single DVD, dual release. You can see there, that's the movie poster for The Mummy's Hand, that's the Mummy poster for The Mummy's Tomb. Here's what the back of that looks like, descriptions of each movies, and there's really no special features on these except for the fact you get the trailers, production notes, and cast and film notes. And of course you can see here, there's the Mummy's Hand, and then there's the Mummy's Tomb, and of course the little slip there. So, anyway, I love the Mummy movies. I always found them great. I think that for me, I like of course you gotta give Boris Karloff credit for his performance, but I really think that the Mummy's Tomb and the Mummy's Hand and the Mummy's Tomb, for me, I really, really love. Another tidbit of information that I recently discovered about the Mummy's Hand is the musical score is actually from Son of Frankenstein. If you listen to the music from Son of Frankenstein, and then you listen to the soundtrack music in the Mummy's Hand, they're the same. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you are enjoying these reviews. Just so you know, if you have the Peacock streaming app, if you don't want to go out and buy the movies, you can stream them, but you won't get none of the special features. So why wouldn't you go and buy special features? It makes it even more fun. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys' support. Please don't forget to check out the other Universal Monster Blu-ray reviews. We're going to be doing this up till Halloween. And don't forget to check out all the other great content on the Geek This Week YouTube channel. Also the Hammer Horror Blu-ray reviews. Don't forget to check out all the great panels from past Pensacons and much, much more. So thank you guys, and we'll catch you in the next edition of Universal Monster Blu-ray Review.